coolest, most politically incorrect black man on the planet, Rod Eccles.
Information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000 or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel quality. Best of all, you can still order a building and have it delivered in time to build this year. How's that for right now? So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company, General Steel.
800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. That's 800-393-5756.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Boy, man, I had a rough night's sleep. Boy, I got a letter from the IRS yesterday, and I just couldn't sleep. Man, I'm dying here. Somebody help me.
IRS problems affect more than just your finances. If you're ready to take back control of your life and you owe more than $10,000, you need to call the Tax Doctor. Their expert staff can immediately protect you from the IRS and state collectors and get you the best possible tax settlement guaranteed. The IRS has recently released new programs geared in helping struggling taxpayers, where you may qualify to settle your tax debt and wipe out up to 85% or more of what you currently owe. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call the Tax Doctor right now. See if you qualify to pay less. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. Again, 800-989-1694.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Good morning, my fellow Americans. It is I, your lovable host, L. Rod, coming to you live from my bunkerized studio somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire. It is Hump Day, Wednesday, as we say here in the USA, February the 24th in the year of our Lord 2016. The call-in number is 603-835-3224, 603-835-3224. Got a lot to cover with you today, as I do every day. Today is no exception. First, I'm having a small discussion on the Facebook fan page. Got some Facebook news here, too, that isn't all that positive. And look, folks, I've tried to warn you and tell you about Facebook I don't know how many times. But here's something else that's happening. And people are, and there's some bad news for Apple. But I got to tell you, I am beside myself trying to figure out this whole Apple thing and why this perception of Apple is bad, but the perception of Facebook keeps marching on in a positive direction. And don't give me the notion, well, people don't like it when Facebook does that. Well, people haven't stopped using Facebook. Usually if you don't like something, you stop using it. Well, people obviously have not stopped using Facebook. In fact, it just keeps growing and growing, even in the USA. But I got to stay on track here because there's just way too many things I got to cover with you. And I my mind sometimes just because I run at 50,000 miles per second. Sometimes my mouth can't keep up with my mind, and I can be all over the place. Now, I'm having a small discussion over on Facebook about the country of Ukraine and as it pertains to the Crimea and Russia. And I'm amazed at, well, I'm not amazed. It's just this whole information stuff that we have here is not what you get from people over there. And this is no different in the Ukraine. I mean, you get this from, I get this about Sweden too. In some of the Nordic countries, we think that we know everything. And the point is that the stuff that this person and I were discussing about Ukraine, the information they have here is the stuff that they're getting from online and the stuff that they're getting from the American news media. Well, I'm getting my information from Ukrainians themselves and from Americans who've actually visited Ukraine and spent time there. And I can tell you what they're actually all reporting to me is nothing what the U.S. is reporting. U.S. News. So it's no wonder, but the problem is that you find it's not that we're not getting the right information or enough of the information. It's that the information that these people have, once you approach them and tell them they're wrong, they want to double down on it. I'm finding it that people really would rather think that they're right than to actually want to find out the truth. Now, me personally, I don't care if I'm right or wrong. I just want to know the truth. Now, it just so happens that when the truth is known, I'm almost always right. But that's beside the point, I guess. I'm interested in the truth. I'm not interested in being right. That's it, because the truth is more important. It's the only thing that counts anyway. Because you can't make decisions, you can't make policy, you can't live your life by simply being right. You can be right and still be wrong all the time. You can always be right, but at the same time be wrong. Because you can be right based on the information you have, but that information could be wrong. Which means that all your decisions are going to be what? Wrong. So, if you people out there who only want to come at me because you just want to be right, fine, I'll take you on. I don't care. I don't care about being right. All I care about is the truth. And I'm going to go find the truth. Plain and simple. I don't, maybe I probably brought it on myself by saying I'm almost always right. And whenever you say that, people want to prove you wrong. So that means that they're more interested in being right than knowing the truth. Okay. It's not my problem, I guess. Anyway, 603-835-3224 is the number to call. Donald Trump, the Trump train, the Trump juggernaut rolls through Nevada last night. Now, I got to tell you, I was not interested. I shouldn't say not interested. I did not watch all the coverage of the Nevada caucus last night because it was just, I'm not interested in all these pundits' positions on Trump because I know that they're going to be negative anyway. They're not going to be accurate and fully truthful. I know, and it has nothing to do with me being a Trumpster or being a Cruiser or being a Rubioite or, by the way, I guess Cruz came in second and Rubio third. And I got some news about Rubio too. And, let me put it to you this way. I am getting a little disillusioned now with this electoral process. And I shouldn't say disillusioned. I'm getting a little bummed about it. Now, I know that politics is a blood sport. I get it. And I understand that these guys who are in locked horns, they've locked horns in the battle because I think they fully understand and fully realize that whomever the GOP nominee is most likely the next president of the United States. Now, I have heard a lot of different things from a lot of different people about the candidates. And one of the things that has come to mind, and this is actually, and when I actually did I looked up this yesterday after the show. And I'm not going to repeat the whole thing here. But I got to tell you, what I learned about Ted Cruz as it pertains to this campaign is not good. It's not good. I'm sorry, it's not. And I like Ted Cruz. And you cruisers are actually cruising for a bruising because you're doing nothing more than what Democrats do. You do not care about the truth. All you care about is that you want your particular candidate because you're this one issue person on the one issue train, and you just want your candidate to win based on that one issue or one position. And I keep telling you, you cannot vote or support anybody based on one single issue because you're going to get burned, and then you're going to burn the rest of the country. And what I'm finding out about you cruisers is that you're basing your entire decision on one issue. And you think that's the only issue that counts, but it's not. It's far from it. I got a call here, 336. You're live on the Rod Eccles Show. I'm sure you're calling to gloat about Trump's humongous win, another double-digit win if you're looking at the results so far out there in Nevada. Is there anything that's going to stop this guy now? I mean, they've thrown everything, including the kitchen sink at this man, and he is just walking away with it.
Rod, I don't even think I have to talk this morning. I just want to listen to you, man. That really sounds good to me. No, I want to jump in there and just, I'm telling you, I'm so happy this morning. I'm seeing things that Trump has been talking about for 6 months come to fruition now. And, he said, I will win the Hispanics big in Nevada, and damned if he didn't.
Yeah, he did. He did. I mean, where are all his critics on this one? They're all silent. I'm looking for critics on him on the Hispanic, on the Latino side. Trump, look, I'm sitting here in the Freedom Throne here, just I'm in awe. I didn't even expect this out of Trump. Sorry, I didn't.
Well, and another thing, too, with the evangelicals, he's actually really dominating right now with the evangelicals. To just have freshly stepped into this campaign and not be the person that always quotes Scripture. We've talked about this before. You don't have to quote Scripture to be a God-fearing human being. And I think a lot of people around the country are saying, we're not worried if he goes to church every other day. We need jobs. We need jobs, and we need to be safe. And that, I'm just saying he is on point right now. He is on point. And he said that Cruz' campaign had been lying. And guess what? Rick Tyler was fired for lying. I don't give a damn how you spin it. He was fired for lying. And if folks don't think that Ted Cruz didn't know what was going on, they are just as big a liars as Ted Cruz. Because you don't have things like that come out from one of your major spokespersons. Rick Tyler's been on every cable news channel you can think of, and whatever you need with rabbit ears, he's been on there too. And now he's fired. And he was fired for lying. And that leaves a black eye on that campaign. I don't care what anybody says. That is not good, period.
No,
go ahead.
It's not. But one of the things that I well, again, I'm not going to get on the bashing the Cruz camp here, but I got to tell you this whole the whole thing about backstabbing and lying. There was a moment in time back in the late summer, early fall, when the word was going out. Maybe this, you got Trump and Cruz talking to each other. Maybe it's going to be a Trump and Cruz ticket, and people were all, even cruisers were all, wonderful about it. They were all warm and fuzzy about it. And don't tell me you weren't, because I didn't start this program yesterday. I've been at this since 2009, and you guys talk to me all over the place, on different social media, and even, calling in the show. And I got to tell you, even you cruisers were loving the idea of possibility having a Trump-Cruz ticket, because, and some of you, this is what some of you were saying. Well, if Cruz gets to be VP of Donald Trump, we know Trump is probably only going to be one-termer. That means Cruz is going to get 8 years, man, right after that. So we're going to have 16 years again of wonderful conservatism. And this is what cruisers were saying. And then all of a sudden, things changed. And you people thought that it was Donald Trump's fault because he just started calling Ted Cruz a liar. Here's the reason why. Donald Trump got hold of a video of Ted Cruz secretly bashing Trump. In other words, Trump thought he just had the knife stabbed deep in his back. And I'm telling you, that's what started it all. And that's what started the downfall of Ted Cruz with Donald Trump. I'm sorry for you cruisers, but that's it. And as soon as that happened, as soon as Donald Trump said, well, Ted Cruz is a liar, all you cruisers turned against Donald Trump. And I got to that's kind of nasty, too. I mean, you were all for this when you thought Ted Cruz was going to be Donald Trump's vice president. But now all of a sudden, Trump says, well, Cruz is a liar. Trump doesn't say stuff without a reason. And I was trying to figure out, well, why the hell is Donald all of a sudden turning on Cruz? It can't simply be because Cruz is, getting close to him in the polls. That's not it. There's something that's not Donald Trump. There's something else. And so I actually got to view the video. And I said, that's the reason. You cannot do that to Donald Trump and get away with it, because he really appreciates integrity and truth above everything else. Honesty is what Donald Truth is all about. And if he perceives you as lying to him or stabbing him in the back, all bets are off, baby. And that's the way he's always been.
Well, you take your favorite person in your family that you look up to, and I think that's what's going on right now with Trump. They're really looking up to him because of his success. I mean, and no matter who wants to deny this, he has a personality that has a magnetism to it. And I'm not talking about cult-like personality. I'm just talking about, hey, it's fun to watch him. I mean, of course you don't know what's going to come out of his mouth sometimes, and that's what I love about it. I mean, I don't expect a scripted policy speech all the time from him. He's not that kind of guy right now. He's going to keep all of his blueprints, all of his things that he has planned for this country. He's going to keep a lot of it in close to the chest, and I appreciate that too. The world don't need to know what our plans are going to be as a country, and you can't run just on one. You can't run just and say I'm an evangelical candidate. because as we talked about before, this campaign is from East Coast to West Coast. It don't stop in the Bible Belt, and it don't stop for anybody. And this country has changed. It's changed a lot, and we are going to need the millennials to come on board at some point in the future. And it's Trump's personality that's going to draw a lot of those young folks. If I'm a young person, and all I see from a candidate is what I consider preaching to me, as Cruz, and I'm sorry this morning, but I'm going to say what I need to say about Cruz. That's a one trick pony, and we need more than that. He does not have a pathway to the White House. And I digress, Rod.
Well, there are people out there that are speculating that maybe Cruz is missing his calling, not as president, but being Supreme Court justice. And you know what? I would be 150% behind that. Obama's not going to nominate him, but the next president could. And I think that would be a fantastic move to nominate Ted Cruz to the Supreme Court. And frankly, I think he would do the country a lot better being a Supreme Court justice than being the president for 4 years or 8 years. I'm going to say, like I said, I like Ted Cruz a lot. But since I heard that, and I'm thinking, you know what, let me think about this for a minute. And I did it for all of that minute turned into all 5 seconds before I wholeheartedly agree for a host of reasons that Cruz would be a better Supreme Court justice than president. And I know there are some cruisers out there that are just going to hate me for saying that, but it's the truth.
Well, and the truth's what matters. If whatever you're talking about, when I come on here, I like to bring facts with me, things that are tangible, that we can actually know that are happening as much as I can. And right now, and as far as Rubio to me is very, very weak. I mean, he just looks weak. His persona on the stage when he's talking, and I don't have a lot against Rubio. I mean, I joke about him a lot, but with all the sweating and stuff. But if you just take this for example, if you Google the picture of him and you Google a picture of Putin and put them side by side, you're already worried. I'm worried. Okay, this American guy's sweating like crazy, and Putin's going around, shooting bears and whatnot. So I know it's just a visual thing with part of it, but we need somebody strong, Rod. We need somebody that's going to go in there and just put, just like our presidents in the past that have put the country first and our military first and our safety first. And that's why I'm on here this morning. Man, I'm so happy about this. My head's so big I couldn't even get in the car this morning, man. I went to get out and get some gas, and my head was swollen so big from this victory last night I couldn't even get in the front seat of the car.
Okay. Well, Trump is moving. He's rolling on, and you can't look. He's already proven a bunch of people wrong about his candidacy. About he can't win, or he's not going to be in it for the long haul, or there's something. He's got an ulterior motive or something. And Trump is not. He's not serious. And all of a sudden, now that the voting has actually started, the actual voting has started. Every single time. Even in Iowa, people just don't realize this, and I try to explain it over and over again. Well, Trump won every election or every vote that we've had so far. No, Rod, he didn't win Iowa. No, see, here's where you're wrong about that. Now, Cruz went into Iowa, and he did win the evangelical vote in Iowa, and the evangelicals are very big in Iowa. But here's why Cruz lost, because if you look at the numbers and you separate the numbers out, the overall general population of Iowans went towards Trump. Trump only lost Iowa in second place by 4 points. He has blown everybody out by double digits in the next 3 votes. Every single one, double digits. You cannot tell me that Iowa by 4 points is a win, and then go into New Hampshire and South Carolina and Nevada and tell me, well, it's not the country then. He can't win the vast majority vote to win the election. Are you kidding me? You're telling me that Cruz, who only won by 4 points in the Iowa caucus due to the evangelical vote, strictly only, if you look at the numbers, breakdown, strictly by the evangelical vote, he only won by 4 points. But then Trump wins by double digits in the next 3 votes, and he still can't win the general election, but Cruz can. That just doesn't add up to me, folks. It really doesn't. Because Iowa, when was the last time Iowa picked the next president of the United States?
Thank you.
I'm not trying to downplay Iowa, but I'm just saying, when was the last time they did?
That's exactly right, brother. I'm telling you, you know, you have to look at history sometimes. You have to look at history sometimes to look forward. And, you know, I want to, not to get off the subject of Iowa and all that, but I want to say this. I like to fight back against lamestream media sometimes. Okay, last night I'm watching it. It's real late. Jake Tapper's on CNN, and he's talking about how the caucus places were just they were just they didn't know what they were doing. They were just mayhem last night. Okay, at the same time, he's walking back and forth with the microphone, talking to the panel and talking about how disorganized all the caucuses were. He went to 2 reporters. The first one said, "Oh, it's so smooth here. People are kind of getting bored now. Everybody's done their thing, and it's been looking good." So then he goes to the next one. Same thing. Everything's smooth here. It has been so smooth. So at the same time, he's trying to make it look like chaos is going on with all the Trump people coming in and voting and all the people in general coming in and voting. At the same time he's saying that, his own reporters are telling him the opposite, but he's still not listening. So until these lamestream media pundits get their act together, nobody's really taking them serious. I mean, I'm a Trump supporter and I'm watching that. Well, whether I'm a Trump supporter or not, if I'm looking at an anchor talking one thing and the 2 reporters that he's referring to are telling me something totally different, I'm not believing any of them really. So
I know. This is the problem I have with the lamestream media myself. They have an open agenda that they're not even hiding. I mean, they used to try to hide it. I mean, they try to hide it badly, but they tried to hide it. But they're not even trying to hide it anymore. And you know, I don't understand why the American people really accept this. But
Lightning Rod.
Lightning
Rod. Let me just say this real quick.
Okay.
That's why we love you, brother. You don't spin it. And I'll be talking to you later. Thank you so much, brother.
Congratulations on your Trump win, sir. We'll be right back, folks.
Your credit score is a joke, and you're too embarrassed to let anyone know your 3-digit score. Sucks to be you, but it doesn't have to. Delete all those unsightly derogatory items, collections, charge-offs, repossessions, judgments, tax liens, bankruptcies, and foreclosures. To turbo boost your credit scores, call 888-541-5571 or visit us at 700creditnow.com. You've heard the old adage, cash is king. But in some cases, credit can be just as powerful as cash. Not many people have $200,000 to put down on a house, or $50,000 to put down on a car, or $25,000 to put down in a business. But look around and you'll find that millions of Americans do have homes and cars all purchased with little to no money down. To turbo boost your credit scores, call 888-541-5571. Again, that's 888-541-5571. Or visit us at www.700creditnow.com.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Did you ever look at the stains in your coffee cup and then realize that's exactly what happens to your teeth? Power Swabs is the 5-minute solution to get your teeth white without visiting the dentist. This is Ben Gordon with Power Swabs, and if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, all it takes is 5 minutes with Power Swabs. In 5 minutes, you'll see an average of 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. It's clinically proven to whiten natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. The secret is a tooth detergent that was developed by Dr. Martin Ginniger that lifts stains off of your teeth. Best of all, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you're done. To try Power Swabs risk-free, call 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140. I guarantee your bright white smile will have your friends talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free today. 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
When you're ready to take the edge off a hectic day, I suggest you start with a little music from Franz Black.
I guess there's lots of ways to look at things that don't seem right.
No Worries has just been released on iTunes and Amazon.
It's gonna be alright.
You can find Franz Black and his music on his website, franzblack.com. F-R-A-N-Z black.com.
It's gonna be alright.
Do you know the true history of African Americans before slavery? Come into Austell, Georgia, Saturday, February the 27th, 2016, at the Riverside Epic Center, 135 Riverside Parkway. Black America, From Prophets to Pimps stage play. For more information, visit www.prophetstopimps.com or call 470-985-0992. Tickets on sale now.
603-835-3224 is the call-in number should you wish to join me here live on the Rod Eccles Show as we roll on, kind of like the Trump train. This is the Rod Eccles train, if you will. You know, I always liked, when I was a kid, I loved model railroads, and I keep saying one of these days when I retire, whenever that day may be, I will have in my basement or attic. This is New England. They still make houses and still have lots of houses with attics, you know, so I could have an attic. Or nice big dry basement. I'm going to build a new model railroad. Well, you know, I like model trains. I always have. So maybe, you know, there'll be a. I've always wanted to model, and I know a lot of people that they don't know what this is. But this is from my formative years of living in northern Michigan. But I've always liked the topography of Michigan, of northern Michigan, the Great Lakes, the northern Great Lakes, and I've always wanted to model a railroad line called the Sioux Line, S-O-O, named in honor of the Sioux Indian or the Sioux Nation. I've always wanted to model that. I know a lot of people do the Santa Fe and the and all the other big name railroads, but for some reason I have always been enamored with the Northern Michigan segments or arms, if you will, of the Soo line. And maybe one of these days I'll get to do that, but it'll have to be after I get over my new obsession. There's a game, these little app games. See, this is why I don't play video games, because I know my limitations, and I know I get hooked on some of these things. And some of you, if you've been listening for a while, you know that I like the SimCity Build It. But I've had to stop playing it as much as I used to, simply because for whatever reason, and don't. I know people are going to try to tell me how to fix it, but I've tried every way from Sunday to fix it. But here's the issue. I load it up, and on my iPad, SimCity Build It keeps crashing. Now, I've been told to erase it and re-download it. I did it, and that was a pain trying to get back to my original city after doing that once. And it didn't work. So the issue is really, and I'm told that this is a common issue with SimCity Build It when you get your city to a certain level and you start growing it and building, and that's the problem. I built my city up; it's pretty big now, and they've been throwing all kinds of new stuff on SimCity Build It, and some of it I'm just not really into. And I've noticed if you go visit other cities on SimCity, they're not into those new things either because they don't add them to their cities. But lately, it's very difficult for me to visit other cities because it crashes. So you just get to the point where you're trying to do something in your city and then the game crashes and you just get tired of it. And I'm at that point. I'm just kind of frustrated, and not that I'm bored with the game because I still like it, but the crashing issue and in trying to fix it is a big problem with me, and I'm not the only one who's experienced this problem. If you go online and read about SimCity Build It, I'm far from the only person who has this crashing problem. So it's not my device, and it's not like Apple devices to crash. But this is, and it only happens on this game. There's nothing else that I utilize on my iPad that ever crashes. Never. Since I've had it. Nothing. Only SimCity. So that's become a little bit of a hassle to try to play that game. But another game that I've come to love for some reason, and I didn't think I'd like it this much. I thought I was going to be this huge Boom Beach fan. And I got to tell you, I'm kind of at the point of Boom Beach where I'm kind of bored. It's still a good game, but I'm kind of bored with it. And I don't spend as much time on it as I first did. And, you could say, well, because you're in that phase where now you need all this, gold and cash in order to build. And, they build that into the game so you end up having to buy stuff. I'm like, yeah, I get that. And that's happened with every game that I've played. You get to that point. But this is different. I mean, this is like, I used to play Ebony online. That was, years ago, too. I played for like 3 years or so, the Ebony game online. I think they're still up and active, but I got bored with that. This is the same kind of boredom. I just got bored with that, and I stopped playing. But the game that I like most for some reason now, and maybe it's because of the interactiveness of it, and you get to, I haven't put my finger on why I really like it, because I like it a hell of a lot more than I thought I was going to. Clash of Clans. If you haven't played Clash of Clans, then might I suggest that you do so. There's obviously, like most of these app games, there's the free, you can play for free, but there's also parts of it that you can spend real money on if you want to do that. I don't do that. I have other hobbies that I'd like to, pay for. But some people, they view these online games as their hobby, and they'll spend real money on it. Now, when I played Ebony, I've heard of people, chatted with people that said they spent, a couple $100 a month on Evany. I'm like, are you kidding me? I spent out of the 3.5 years or 4 years I've played Evany, I spent a total of $30 real dollars. Because I just wanted to see what it was like if you actually paid money for these things. $30. And these people are spending $200 a month. Oh yeah, that's their hobby. Fine, it could be anything. Hey, it's better than smoking cigarettes. One person said that actually spending the money on Evany got him to quit because it was either playing Evany or smoking cigarettes. And he said he'd rather spend the money on Evany, so he basically quit smoking so he had the money to play Evany. And look, now he's living at least at that point he was living a healthier lifestyle. So good on you on that. I'm not going to condemn anybody for spending, $200 a month is a bit much, but I'm not going to condemn anybody for spending money on online games. That's your hobby. That's fine. You could be spending it on something else. You work for it. Now, if you don't have a job and you're getting government assistance and you're spending that money on online games or anything else other than survival, well, yeah, I'm going to chastise you for it. But if you work for a living and you're not receiving government assistance and you want to spend your hard-earned money on an online game, I don't care how stupid I may think it is, but if you want to spend you have the right to do so, and go ahead and do it. More power to you, because you could spend it anywhere. But if you're going to spend it, spend it on something that you're going to enjoy. It's your money, after all, and which is why I don't understand why some people who are into this, wanting to control every aspect of your life, why that is. Because they don't want somebody else telling them how to spend their money. How would you like it if you think that you should, if you have this holistic idea that you should only spend your money on certain things? Well, how would you like it if somebody came into your house and started telling you that you can't spend your money on this pet project of yours? Maybe you only spend your extra money on supporting, green ideas or, supporting like Greenpeace or something. Well, how would you like it if the government came in and said, well, you could no longer spend your money on that? You would not be a happy camper. But for some reason, you think it's okay to go ahead and tell somebody else that they can't spend their money on their favorite pet project, simply because you don't care about their pet project. That's what it all comes down to. You liberals and you socialists, it's all about you. It's not about what's good for humankind. It's not about what's interesting or good for that particular individual. It's all about what you want. You don't give a damn about what anybody else wants. It's called pure selfishness. It's all about you. No, if you want to spend your money, again, $200 to me is a bit much, but maybe to you, I don't know. Maybe you make $100,000 a year and $200 a month is nothing. Fine, if you can afford it, go right ahead. If that's what makes you happy on this planet, go right ahead. See, there's the two criteria. Can you afford it, and do you like it? I don't care what it is. And we should not be running around, third, is it damaging to somebody else around you? So this whole notion that we're supposed to be able to tell people how they can spend their money, I don't know where that notion came from. That is the most ridiculous notion I have ever heard. It's none of your damn business what I spend my money on. I don't know why people think that they have a right to dictate what somebody else does in their life. And then then I know that they have this same stupid argument. Well, Rod, then you should make drugs free then. It shouldn't be illegal. No. I said it shouldn't damage anybody else. Now, we know that most illegal narcotics, illegal drugs, does damage not only to the person using, but does real damage to people around them, to society. And thereby, society has a right to control that. Now, if you want to get down to certain individual drugs, you may find I agree with you. I know this is a touchy situation, but a subject. But I'm going to tell you, and don't think that I do this, because I don't. But if you want to smoke pot, marijuana, I don't think it should be an illegal substance. It should not. Now, I happen to know the history in this country about cannabis. Most people don't. They think they do, but they don't. Look, this is a particular weed, if you will, that Native Americans used. They didn't abuse it. The problem with Americans today is that we tend to find something that we think is cool and nice and we like, and then we abuse it. Well, pot is not the only thing that we abuse, but there are a lot of other things that we abuse that are legal. And no, for you people who are thinking, yeah, we got Rod on this, no, you don't. Because you're out there thinking that pot is the perfect drug, perfect substance, it's not harmful. Anything in excess is dangerous and bad for you. And there are a lot of people, well, pot's never killed anybody. Well, first of all, that's a bold-faced lie. It has. Second of all, now we've got these new breeds of cannabis plants that what the THC content is through the roof compared to what the Native Americans cultivated. It's not the same thing. And we know that long-term heavy use of this stuff is brain damaging, just like tobacco use for cigarette smokers is lung damaging. It's not a perfect drug. So don't even try to go down that road with me. And if you want to tell me about, it can cure this, it can cure that, you know what? Cannabis might be able to cure certain things, but I can tell you it doesn't cure a damn thing by you inhaling it through a cannabis cigarette. In other words, a joint. There is nothing out there that shows that smoking this stuff cures anything. So don't even go down that road with me. But the truth is that Rupert Murdoch, not Rupert Murdoch, Hearst, William Randolph Hearst, got pot in this country to be illegalized, if you will, because cannabis, hemp, was a very major potential competitor to his forestry products, particularly pulp, paper. The man owned vast newspaper holdings in this country. And with that vast newspaper holdings, he had vast land timber holdings, pulp paper holdings. And he sold a lot of paper, not only to his own newspapers, but to other publications all across the country, all across the world. Hemp, industrialized hemp, had an effect of being a competitor to him for paper. Hemp paper. And by some standards, hemp paper was superior to wood pulp paper, even back then. And so a lot of the stuff that we talk about pot today was simply invented by William Randolph Hearst. This whole notion that pot is a gateway drug to every other hard drug on the planet was invented by William Randolph Hearst. And I don't care how many times we dispel that notion. It is still the main cause for people wanting to keep pot illegal. It is a gateway drug for everything else. And it is not. And it has been proven over and over. Just look at the number of people in this country that claim to smoke pot on a regular or semi-regular basis. The vast majority of them do not have any interest in going on to other hard drugs like coke or meth or anything else like that. They never get into it. That anecdotal evidence alone proves that pot is not a gateway drug. As a matter of fact, to be completely honest, if you're going to look at the numbers and the statistics, alcohol, specifically beer, is more of a gateway drug to other hard illicit drugs than pot is. And those are the numbers. Look them up. All you got to do is look them up. I'm just saying. And I think we spend too much time wasting law enforcement treasure, if you will, both human and money, on hunting down all this pot stuff. I mean, really? Most pot growers, now the big ones that are trying to hide it out in the forest and stuff, yeah, they're violent. But most pot growers are not violent people. They're really not. Look, do you like Colorado? You want to turn it into a tobacco cash product. You regulate it if you want. You tax it to death, just like cigarettes, tobacco. And I trust me, the interest in that stuff, like cigarettes, will eventually go down. It'll wane. You start regulating. Well, hey, if you think that the problem is the THC content, start regulating it then. No, I'm not into government regulation like that. But if you think that that's the reason that is causing the problem with people, because we have regulations on nicotine. I mean, every time, how many times have we had all these hearings about cigarette companies, tobacco companies, hiding the true nicotine levels and putting in other nicotine additives into their tobacco without telling people? Do the same thing with THC. I don't, or TCH, whatever it is. Do the same thing. Take it off the illegal table, and then you're going to reduce not only the cost and the price of it, you're going to make a ton of money from it too, tax-wise. And eventually, if you keep raising the taxes like you do on cigarettes, you're going to get people to quit. There isn't this huge cigarette black market in this country. Well, people, if you bring the taxes high, there's going to be a black market on pot. No, there's not. That's what they kept saying about cigarettes. You keep raising the cigarette taxes, and there's going to be this huge black market on cigarettes, and there's not. There is no black market for cigarettes in the USA. Why? Because it's not worth it. Sure, we've heard of some, pretty famous heist, tractor trailer filled with tobacco being stolen. And really, the only difference is that makes it a little bit more palatable is that, in most parts of the country, you go onto a real dedicated and notarized Indian reservation, and you don't have certain tobacco taxes attached to those cigarettes. So people who don't live on the reservation, who are not Native American, will go onto the reservation and buy their cigarettes. And a lot of times what happens, too, is, it used to happen, and I don't think this is the case anymore, is that even the tobacco manufacturers understood that they could get a tax break if they sent their tobacco directly to Indian reservations themselves. And so there was a lower cost. And so sometimes when these things got hijacked, they were on their way to reservations. So people were doing, they saw a cheap source of revenue by stealing the cigarettes, for one, and two, preventing, they had this notion that they thought the Indian reservations had an unfair advantage. And a couple of the cases that were solved were from tobacco, the people who were in the business of tobacco distribution. But they weren't able to deliver to or distribute to Native American reservations. But other than that, which was a rare case, there were rare cases. There was no black market. There is no black market for tobacco products in the USA. Now, if you go to other countries, it might be a different story in certain countries. But here in the USA, there is no black market for it. And you're not going to end up with a black market for marijuana. Let me. There's a program on what is it? One of the learning channels, Discovery or AMC or something. Moonshiners. Now people think that people still make moonshine. Yeah, but the big thing is that these reality shows, they're not what they're perceived to be. Because some people say, well, I was watching it one day and I'm like just breezing through, and somebody said, well, why don't they have this information? Why don't they go and arrest them? I said, because what they're doing isn't illegal anymore. So what you don't realize is what these guys are doing is they're actually doing something legal, and they're actually bottling this stuff and shipping it off to a distributor. And he's looking at me and thinking, what? But moonshine's illegal. Like, no, moonshine is not illegal. It doesn't have to be illegal. It's not automatically illegal. And sure enough, I just saw a commercial for the next episode of Moonshiners, whatever it is. And one of the moonshiners, pretending to be an illegal moonshiner, was looking, according to the commercial for the next episode, was looking to expand his still because he needed to make so many barrels to send to his distributor. Because they'd gotten a new retail outlet for his shine. And I'm thinking to myself, wait, they just gave away the whole story here. I thought this was about illegal moonshining. And now this guy they're advertising on the next show is going to show how he's struggling to find somebody to expand his stills so he can meet the demand of this huge amount of monthly capacity. Well, that guy's not doing anything illegal, is he? Yeah, he's out in the backwoods trying to hide and acting like he's doing illegal stuff, but evidently he's not doing anything illegal. So there's not even any more black market for the alcohol moonshine industry. So look, when you make people's vices, here in America anyway, when you make people's vices, most vices, if you decriminalize them, and you start to regulate or tax them, there is very little to no black market of it. There's no profit in the black market. There's no profit in going the illegal route. It's too easy to make money legally. So, I mean, some of these drugs, part of this drug war that we have is nothing more than government trying to assert its control over the American people. Plain and simple. Well, we're going to control you. We're going to pick the winners and losers. We're going to make this stuff illegal and so harsh that we make it profitable for criminal elements, dangerous, violent criminal elements, to get involved because there's so much money involved, because we're so busy and wrapped up into trying to stop it. And I'm telling you that there are on certain things, I mean, heroin, crack, wipe it out. Should be illegal. It's too devastating. Not just for the person who gets hooked on it, but for their entire community. The human cost and toll is just not worth trying to make it legal. We can't. We can't regulate. That's something we cannot regulate. You can't. But pot, on the other hand, look, all of those drug enforcement agents and all those officers all over the country that are spending all that time and taxpayer money looking for pot plants could be better spent in really going after those people who are pushing and promoting crack and meth and all that other dangerous stuff. That's where the real problem is. It's not in pot. But I know some people will think that it is pot. But it's really not pot. Not at all. But I don't know. I don't know what it's going to take. But in any case, we'll be right back.
Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Sign him up for the Box of Bait Club and he'll never be hungry again. The Box of Bait Club is a brand new dream come true for every fisherman. Something new and different in your tackle box every month. Every month, another excuse to get outside and do what you love. Don't let this one get away. The Box of Bait Club is currently accepting a limited number of pre-orders with subscriptions starting at $39.95 per month. Find out more now. Log on to boxofbaitclub.com.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000 or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel quality. Best of all, you can still order a building and have it delivered in time to build this year. How's that for right now? So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company, General Steel.
800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. That's 800-393-5756.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Boy, man, I had a rough night's sleep. Boy, I got a letter from the IRS yesterday, and I just couldn't sleep. Man, I'm dying here. Somebody help me.
IRS problems affect more than just your finances. If you're ready to take back control of your life and you owe more than $10,000, you need to call the tax doctor. Their expert staff can immediately protect you from the IRS and state collectors and get you the best possible tax settlement guaranteed. The IRS has recently released new programs geared in helping struggling taxpayers, where you may qualify to settle your tax debt and wipe out up to 85% or more of what you currently owe. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call the tax doctor right now. See if you qualify to pay less. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. Again, 800-989-1694.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Good morning and welcome back, all you liberty lovers all across the globe, as well as you wonderful ecclesiastites. It is I, your lovable host, Elrod, coming to you live from my bunkerized studio somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire, where the state motto is live free or die. It is not big government or bust. And yes, I check almost every day, and I checked again today, and it has not changed. We are still the big live free or die state. It is here Wednesday, February the 24th, in the year of our Lord, 2016. As we begin hour number 2, the call-in number is 603-835-3224. Again, that's 603-835-3224. Trump has won more votes than Romney had at this point in 2012, and many, many more than McCain had at this point in 2008. As a matter of fact, and this is from the Weekly Standard. As a matter of fact, there is a Marco Rubio actually pulled in more votes than Romney did back in 2012. So this whole notion that the base, the Republican base, and the independents are not fired up this year, this election season, by the candidates that we have, is just a bold-faced lie. In other words, 4 votes in a row have been record-setting. The first 4 votes of this whole process, all of them have been record-setting. Now, it is at the point now where we're in some of these votes. The runners-up, people in second and third place, received more votes than the winners of the last primary in that state or caucus. Can you imagine? We're getting such turnout that even people who are coming in second and third are getting more votes than the person who won, who came in first place in previous primaries. So you cannot tell me that there is no excitement on the Republican side. The Democrats, on the other hand, are starting to see their numbers slide. There's no interest over there because their only choice is lying Clinton or crazy Sanders. One or the other. There's no excitement on that side. I mean, I know you hear them trying to play it up, saying, well, Bernie's getting all these people. Bernie's not getting that kind of... Yeah, they're trying to make it... Here's the interesting thing about it, is they're trying to drum up this whole idea that Sanders is getting all these huge crowds and getting this huge support. But then when you actually count the votes, it's not translating. He's not getting those kind of votes. But on the other hand... When you go to the other side and people, you see Trump with all these huge numbers. Oh, people aren't really supporting Trump. They're not going to go to the polls to support Trump. And every single time so far, it's been record numbers of votes, and Trump has gotten record numbers of votes. Now, I'm not here trying to tout the Trump train horn here, but come on. So far, what the real truth is that there is no excitement, there is no buildup on the Democratic side. None. It's fizzling. And this whole notion that Trump cannot beat Hillary or Bernie in a general election just does not seem to add up. I mean, we're looking at these massive numbers coming. Now, if you want to go back to the low turnout of 2012, maybe you will have a point. But there is no indication, especially with these first 4 votes, there is no indication that it is going to be a low turnout in November. In fact, there is every indication so far that this is going to be a record-breaking turnout in November. And it is going to be a record-breaking turnout for the Republican side. And let me tell you, whenever you have a low voting turnout, it almost always benefits Democrats. And when you have a high voting turnout, it almost always benefits Republicans. Now, if we've got this record number and rising on the Republican side, but this disappointment and sliding numbers on the Democratic side, it spells tremendous trouble for the Democrats. Trust me, their internal polling and their people in the DNC, they are panicking. They fully understand this. They understand the numbers. I mean, they're having such troubles with these numbers that they're trying to fire every single gun they have at every single Republican candidate. And the problem is that they can't concentrate and nothing is sticking. I think the Republican insiders have gotten the point that, hey, look, we got to stop directly attacking Trump because every time we do, his numbers go up. I think they finally have gotten that. Now, don't quote me on that because who knows? The Republican, the the power base, the insiders, the blue bloods, they always do stupid stuff. And you just sit back and you scratch your head and you often think, why the hell would they do that? But they constantly do stupid stuff. And so right now I'm saying it looks like they may have gotten the message. But hey, they could go around and just turn around and do something stupid again because they always do. And then they wonder why they lose elections. I mean, here you have a party that has the majority, except in the White House. They have the majority everywhere, just about everywhere in the country. And they're running around saying, well, we got to work with the Democrats because we just don't have the power to oppose them. And every constituent across the country is scratching their head saying, what? We gave you most of the counties in this country. We gave you most of the legislatures in this country. We gave you most of the governorships in this country. We gave you the House and the Senate and Congress. And you still say you don't have the power? What's going to happen if we continue to give you all this stuff and we give you the presidency? What's your excuse going to be then? Now, I'm telling you right now that there are some. Now, don't take this the wrong way, folks, but there are some in the GOP and the inside GOP that really does not want to win the White House because having a Democrat in the White House gives them cover. You understand what I'm saying? Because if there is no cover, if you give them if Romney was elected president and the GOP still did what they did these last 3 years, they would have no cover, no excuse. They would not be able to say, well, we got to get past the Democrats. We don't have a veto proof. We got to get past the Democrats. Let me tell you something. Those blue bloods wanted to do exactly what they did. If they had a GOP president in Romney who would be more than happy to sign conservative legislation coming down the pike, and the Republicans still didn't deliver because they wouldn't have, they wouldn't have any excuse. They wouldn't be able to say, well, the Democrats would have blocked us. Well, the Democrats didn't block you. You could have passed it. Romney would have signed it. What's your excuse? Trust me, there are some insiders who do not want a Republican president because it does not give them cover to do what they really want to do. They will be fully exposed. I mean, why do you think they've been trying to back losers? It's not because they love the Bushes and they love Jeb Bush. They just knew that if they could get Jeb Bush the nominee, he would lose the general election. I'm telling you, that's the case. And now they want to try to obfuscate the facts by saying, hey, Kasich, get out of the race because Rubio is going to be our man. And they know Rubio is not going to win the nomination. The problem is that they have to back Rubio because they cannot have a Cruz or Trump as president because they will have no cover. And the problem is that Trump would eviscerate any Democratic candidate. All you got to do is look at the vast numbers that he's already garnering more votes than either one of the Democrats. And he's not even at 50% of the Republican vote yet. Do you understand that? And you can say, well, some of these states, Rod, they're open vote. No, not in every state. Every state so far that Trump has won and gotten these record numbers is not an open primary or caucus state. They're closed. You have got to be a registered Republican. So the point is he's already garnering bigger numbers than either one of the Democrats. And you're going to tell me that if Trump is the nominee, all those Carson, Rubio, and Cruz people are going to stay home and not support Trump? All of them? That's a little far-fetched, don't you think? They're going to stay home and let Hillary Clinton be elected. Well, some of them will, yeah, especially the Cruz people. I get it. You know, they were. You know, the anti-Trump people are just as bad as the anti-Romney people, and a lot of them are the same. Many of them are the same. You know, the anti-Trump people. They were 4 years ago. They were anti-Romney. I get it. I do, but evidently they haven't learned their lesson from Romney, because they're sitting at home saying, "See, we didn't vote for Romney. Yeah, you gave us Obama, and how's that working out for you?" I just find it amazing. I do not understand people's thinking when they say, "Well, Trump is not a real conservative, and if we don't get a real conservative, I'm going to stay home and not vote." Okay, so not only did you not get a real conservative, now you're not even going to vote for the somewhat conservative, so you can get the full-fledged socialist liberal instead. I mean, this is where I don't understand Beck's thinking. I'd rather vote for Hillary than for Trump. I mean, what? How? And some people will tell me, well, it's because he's a libertarian, Rod. I'm like, John Stossel's a libertarian, but you don't hear him talking about going over to support either Democrat because they're just the opposite of a libertarian. That makes no sense. I mean, John Stossel, besides Beck, is probably this country's most famous libertarian. And there is no way in hell this guy looks at Hillary and Bernie, if you watch his news reports, and he doesn't even understand them. He's like, how the hell could anybody vote for these knuckleheads? But yet you got the country's number one libertarian, Glenn Beck, out there saying, well, Trump is so bad that he'd rather vote for Hillary. I don't... What? How do you come to that conclusion? I don't know. I mean, again, look, I'm not here to bash other talk show hosts or reporters, but come on, when they say something stupid and inane, I don't care who you are, I'm going to call you out. That just makes no sense. I don't understand Glenn Beck at all anymore. I don't understand him. Now, maybe he was saying something for effect, but even that I don't understand. I don't care how much I may or may not disagree with Donald Trump. There is no way in hell. I mean, I don't like Jeb Bush or John Kasich, but there is no way in hell I would ever consider voting for Hillary or Bernie Sanders. How do I consider myself even the least bit conservative if they are my alternative over a Republican, no matter how much of a moderate they may be when it comes to the presidency? When knowing in my heart of hearts that any one of those original 16 candidates would have probably been a better president by far than Hillary or Bernie. Now, most of them would have not been my perfect or ideal choice, granted. But knowing that if it came down to having to pick one of them because they were the nominee, because the vast majority of Republicans chose that person to be their nominee, I would have to support them out of logic, because they would be more conservative than a Hillary or a Bernie. It makes no logical sense for me to therefore say, oh well, you know what? John Kasich all of a sudden becomes starts leading the pack. There is no possible way to be logical and truthful and me say, oh, well, I'd rather support Hillary than Kasich. I mean, that's an asinine type of thing. That's an asinine thing to say and believe. It's an asinine thing to believe. So I do not understand. I get the politics behind attacking Trump. Trump's the front runner. I get it. People attack the front runner if the front runner is not their guy. I get it. And I get, some of these talk show hosts, they have put their lifeblood behind a particular candidate. And it seems like many of the conservative talk show hosts that have come out and announced who they support seem to be supporting Cruz. I get it. So you're backing a guy. You support him. I get the rhetoric behind it. I really do. I can't even logically argue against your choice. Like I said, I like Ted Cruz. There's a lot about Ted to like. There are some things not to like, but there's a lot about him to like. I get it that he probably is the most conservative candidate running right now. I get it. And I know that I have always said we should always look for the most conservative candidate available to us that has a legitimate chance of winning. And that would appear to be Cruz until you get to that legitimate chance of winning. And then things start falling apart a little bit. Now, I'm not saying that Cruz could not win a general election over Hillary, because he could. But I believe definitely that out of the candidates still remaining in the race, that Cruz would have the hardest time beating Hillary. Why? Because Ted is the most polarizing of the candidates. Ted is not. I'm sorry, you Ted Cruzers. He's not drawing from the middle or even the left. Now, if you look at the numbers to see who's supporting who, you see that Trump, you see that Carson, you see that Rubio is drawing from the moderates, the independents, and even Trump is drawing from the left. You're going to need them to win the general election. Cruz is having a hard time doing that. I'm not saying that he could not, if he was the actual nominee, that he would not be able to do that. I'm saying he would not be able to do it in the numbers that some of these other candidates are obviously already doing. So when it comes down to it, yes, I know Cruz people they're gonna hate me for saying this. They're gonna call me all kinds of names. But the fact is, looking at the numbers, folks, you can feel whatever you want. I look at hard numbers and I look at the truth. The hard numbers are, at this juncture in time, Cruz would have the hardest, just looking at the number, not listening to the stupid pundits and saying these stupid, outlandish polls that make absolutely no sense when you start comparing them to the numbers that have already come out. Cruz would have the hardest time. Frankly speaking, he would have the hardest time. And if anything, the Hillary camp would want Ted Cruz to be the Republican nominee, because he would be the easiest for them to beat. Plain and simple. And I'm not, I heard this idea. I didn't come up with the idea about Cruz being the nominee. I heard this idea. And I'm like, you know what? When you really think about it logically, that's a beautiful idea. Ted Cruz should be the nominee, should be the next Republican nominee for the Supreme Court of the United States. I think he would be far superior and far better for this country if he were a Supreme Court justice. I firmly believe that. That's where he would best serve the country. We need another originalist, constructionist, conservative on the bench. He would be the next Antonin Scalia. I believe that. He could go rogue and do a Justice Roberts maybe, but I believe he would be another Justice Scalia. I believe he would be such a huge thorn in the liberal side that they would be squirming for the next 30 years, just like they did with Scalia. I think that would be a perfect fit for for you people who like Cruz. Wouldn't that be cool to have a Justice Cruz? Do you agree or not agree? I'm just saying. I really like that idea. Now, would I take a President Cruz? Well, abso-freaking-lutely. I'm not going to deny that if that could happen, but I think that Cruz would much better serve this country being Supreme Court Justice. Now, for some people, that doesn't work. Why not? I mean, now you got here on the weeklystandard.com, and they're reporting that Donald Trump has yet to win an outright majority in a primary or caucus, but he's getting closer. He pulled 46% of the vote in Nevada. 46%. Now, he may not be getting 50 or 51% yet, but he's winning massive numbers of votes. Now, Mitt Romney won Nevada's caucus in 2012 with about 50% of the vote, but he did so by pulling in roughly 16,000 total votes. Now, this is the same number that second place finisher Marco Rubio pulled in, 16,000 votes. But Donald Trump more than doubled Romney's total by gathering over 34,500 votes. Folks, do you see what I'm talking about? He's not at 50% yet, but he's damn close. And not only is he damn close, but he is beating the next person closest to him by double digits. I mean, in some cases, he is doubling the amount of votes that these other people are getting. And if you're looking at Rubio pulling in the same number of votes that Romney pulled in but came in second, well, that means you got 30,000 votes that are new, that did not take place back in 2012. Can you see where the record numbers are growing and going? All told, Trump has won approximately 420,000 votes after the first four states had voted in 2012. Romney had only about 310,000. Meanwhile, back in 2008, John McCain only had about 250 at this time. 250,000 versus today, Trump with 420,000. But even at 420,000, he's still not at 50%. Now, can you imagine the massive support it's going to be when he gets to 50% or 51%? And you want to tell me he can't beat Hillary? He already has.
Your credit score is a joke, and you're too embarrassed to let anyone know your 3-digit score. Sucks to be you, but it doesn't have to. Delete all those unsightly derogatory items, collections, charge-offs, repossessions, judgments, tax liens, bankruptcies, and foreclosures. To turbo boost your credit scores, call 888-541-5571 or visit us at 700creditnow.com. You've heard the old adage, cash is king. But in some cases, credit can be just as powerful as cash. Not many people have $200,000 to put down on a house, or $50,000 to put down on a car, or $25,000 to put down in a business. But look around and you'll find that millions of Americans do have homes and cars all purchased with little to no money down. To turbo boost your credit scores, call 888-541-5571. Again, that's 888-541-5571. Or visit us at www.700creditnow.com.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Did you ever look at the stains in your coffee cup and then realize that's exactly what happens to your teeth? Power Swabs is the 5-minute solution to get your teeth white without visiting the dentist. This is Ben Gordon with Power Swabs, and if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, all it takes is 5 minutes with Power Swabs. In 5 minutes, you'll see an average of 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. It's clinically proven to whiten natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. The secret is a tooth detergent that was developed by Dr. Martin Ginniger that lifts stains off of your teeth. Best of all, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you're done. To try Power Swabs risk-free, call 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140. I guarantee your bright white smile will have your friends talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free today. 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 5 595-2614 to take.
most politically incorrect black man on the planet, Rod Eccles.
Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Sign him up for the Box of Bait Club and he'll never be hungry again. The Box of Bait Club is a brand new dream come true for every fisherman. Something new and different in your tackle box every month. Every month, another excuse to get outside and do what you love. Don't let this one get away. The Box of Bait Club is currently accepting a limited number of pre-orders with subscriptions starting at $39.95 per month. Find out more now. Log on to boxofbaitclub.com.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100.
Most politically incorrect black man on the planet, Rod Eccles.
And you can't say, well, you know, it's your ISP. You know, you got look, I've got antivirus and spyware stuff that's supposed to be top notch and work on this stuff, and I run it, you know, at least once a week. And now all of a sudden, the past couple of weeks, I'm experiencing crashes. That doesn't make any sense. And people say, well, what have you done new? Well, you know, Spreaker has added a new studio. But it doesn't crash the other computer. The other computer just freezes up too often, which is why I don't use it. I don't want it to. Well, now it's a toss up. Well, they both crashed. They both went down and off. So I can't say that was the case. But I'm just wondering if it isn't my ISP provider now, because it just doesn't make any sense. Well, your ISP doesn't control your computer. It wouldn't crash your computer. And we didn't have a power issue simply because the third computer didn't go down. Now, the third computer right now is just sitting dormant. It isn't doing, but it's on, and I can see it, screen, And it was the only screen that was bright and active and live when the other two went down, but it wasn't connected to anything at this particular point. Because, I use all three during the program. But it depends on what part of the program and what I'm looking at is what I'm using it for. And I wasn't using it for anything at this particular point in time. So it wasn't really fully connected. I mean, it was connected to the internet via my ISP, but it wasn't there was nothing open on it. It was just on. And it didn't go dark. So I don't know. Well, you could say, well, maybe it's because you were connected to Facebook or Twitter. Well, both. I only got one computer right now that is connected to Twitter and Facebook. The other two are not. And, so it couldn't be that. I don't know, folks. I would like to. I just don't have time to go and full investigate this stuff. But I guess if at some point I'm going to have to. Going to have to try to figure it out. Let us see if that works a little bit better. But we'll see. In any case, where was I? I was talking about the polling numbers. Here's something from Reuters on the November polling numbers. And that is, they got some rolling numbers here for Donald Trump. Now, Donald Trump is just, the rolling numbers from Reuters is eclipsed 41%. Ted Cruz is still under 19%, and Rubio is just hitting 13%. And Ben Carson's over 10%. He's no longer a slouch. So understand that Kasich is down under 10%. He's the only candidate left major candidate left in the race that is under 10%. At this particular juncture, one could say that Kasich really has no chance. So what is he doing? Why is he still in the race? Well, I think it's pretty easy to determine that. Oh, by the way, all for you syndicators that get the show and download it for later distribution, do not worry. I will send everybody an edited copy, because I know the way Spreaker runs, you can't. It's not like Blog Talk Radio where you can pick up where you left off. Spreaker does not allow you to do that. So you have to take the two programs and put them together, and I will do that for you and send it out to all the syndicators. So you have the whole show, as it were, put together. We'll do that in-house because unfortunately, unlike Blog Talk, Blog Talk you'll still be there, and you can just pick up where you left off. The JIP join in progress, but Spreaker for some reason does not allow you to do that. I wish they did. The Spreaker has some great stuff, but it's got its limitations. One of its limitations, I got to tell you, is, and I'm going to say it on the air, is customer service. Spreaker's customer service sucks. And the reason it sucks is because it's located in Europe. I know a lot of people don't realize that. Spreaker is not a U.S.-based company. It's a European-based, and I think it's German. And, Germany's like 7 or 8 hours ahead of the East Coast here in the United States. I mean, that's a full day, basically. But they don't get back to you within the next day or even the day after. And I've had an issue with something, and 3 days later, I haven't heard a peep from. But I've known that this has been the problem. A lot of people have complained about this issue with Spreaker. Their customer service sucks. They have none, basically. They really don't. I mean, most of everything else works very well, but they don't have any customer service. And when you have an issue, like, being able to reconnect and join in progress types of thing, you can mention it. You don't hear a damn thing from them about it. If you have an issue trying to figure out how does this work or how does this work, you could be sitting there a week before you hear from them. And remember, all the while, with all of these services out there, you continue to pay them money to broadcast every month, and that goes with all of the good platforms. Even BTR, which is probably about 2.5 times the cost of Spreaker for the same type of system, basically. But at least BTR's customer service is a little bit better. But their sound quality sucks. It does, and it doesn't have to. They've chosen to go the cheaper route. They've chosen to charge you more, but then their costs are less because they've gone the cheaper route as far as broadcasting is concerned. I don't understand that, but I don't own the companies. But see, they're just like with Facebook. I don't own them, so I don't have to use them. I'm not being forced to use any of them. Hell, if I wanted to, I could just set up my own freaking server and just broadcast through my own server. The problem is that I wouldn't trust my ISP to keep it running. Yeah, Comcast, your Xfinity in my book sucks. And don't give me all this fast. I've used those check your speed things online. Has anybody else used those? And I have, every time I have checked it, I have never come close to the speeds that Comcast has been advertising. Never. I should probably do a running total, and check every single day at the same time to see how the speeds differentiate if I ever come close to what they promise or they advertise. Because I've never come close. In fact, I'm going to start doing that. March 1st, I'm going to start, and I'm going to send them the report at the end of March. And then I'm going to send if it doesn't match up to what they're promising, I'm also going to send the report to the SEC and the FCC. Because I'm getting tired of being taken. I don't know about you. I'm tired of paying for stuff and not getting it. Because let's face it, it's the consumer's fault if we keep doing stuff and not getting what we're expecting. It's the consumer's fault. You do have ways of fighting back. This whole notion with Facebook, their privacy and security. Hello, stop putting your private information up there, for one. Two, if you think that Facebook is screwing you over in your privacy settings constantly, stop using Facebook. You don't own it. You can't, all you got to do is pull your content. And one of the things that Facebook hates is when you remove content. They hate that. If you have a Facebook group, and this is the difference between a Facebook page, fan page, and a group. Do you realize in order to remove groups from Facebook, you've got to delete everybody who's in the group? If you want to shut down a group and you've got 30,000 people who are in that group, you realize that you've got to remove every single person from that group. Now, Facebook says that if there's nobody in the group, they'll automatically delete it. But did you know that, and I got this on the inside tip, that Facebook would possibly keep that group up even if it didn't have an administrator in it, simply because of the content, and because that content is possibly being shared all over the place outside of the group. So did you know that in order to get rid of a group, you've not only got to kick everybody out one by one, unless you have some software that'll do that for you, but you've also got to delete every single post. So finally, when you have no members and no post, then the Facebook software will say, well, this is not worth keeping, and they'll delete the group. Because Facebook hates it when you take away content. Because they don't Facebook doesn't create jack. All the content comes from the users. See, unlike my website at rodeccles.net, where the users don't create any of the content, so it's not dependent on them, I'm the one that presents all the content for you, so you get it firsthand. It's just one of those things. You don't. Well, It is what it is, I guess. But so anyway, just if you do not like anything that you subscribe to, then might I ask that you stop subscribing, or you at least complain about it. Because if you don't complain about it, then and you don't stop using it, then I guess you really don't have an issue. In my book, you don't really have an issue. Yeah, it's just the way it goes, I guess. It is what it is, how it is, I suppose. But it is what it is. Now back to the numbers. The Republican candidates. It actually, and Kasich is actually down in support. The rolling numbers. If you're going day by day, Kasich was on a slight upward trend, and he eclipsed 8%, but now he's below 8%. So he's not doing well, and so, but Trump has been on this upward trend. And it doesn't seem like it's stopping. And now I think we're getting, as more and more people, as the number of candidates gets smaller and smaller and it coalesces, I think what we're going to see, much to the chagrin of the Republican insiders, is that you're going to see a couple of candidates hockey stick. In other words, shoot up sharply and to the right. And I think Trump is going to have the biggest surge. Now, I don't know how much longer Ben Carson can hang in there. Frankly, at this particular juncture, he is, like Kasich, he is far wait. Well, I guess he's not that far behind Rubio. I suppose you could say he's within striking distance of Rubio. And that would probably totally tick off the Republican insiders if Carson were able to move into third place in support, dropping Rubio. But look, I don't think Cruz can actually catch Trump at this point. And I don't think he can. I think Ted Cruz's problem, as I mentioned yesterday, is this whole truth and trustworthiness, and Trump is not letting go of it. Look, I'm telling you, Cruz made the mistake of stabbing Donald Trump in the back and letting Donald Trump find out about it. Really, that was Ted Cruz's mistake. And this whole point and issue about the Cruz lying. It's not a good sign when one of your senior advisors and campaigners you ask to leave because of basically lying. I don't think that the American people kind of like fall guys anymore. They're not falling for the fall guy thing. If this were a few elections ago, that probably would have worked. Oh yeah, he got rid of the guy who was all the problems, man. Yeah, he's okay, he's cool. I don't think the American people are falling for the fall guy thing anymore. And as a matter of fact, I think the majority of people that are paying attention to this are saying, well, Ted already knew that was happening and he didn't stop it. Now, whether that's true or not true, that's the optics of it. That is what the vast majority of people believe. And for you cruisers out there, you've got to understand this. If you're going to help Ted turn it around, you better understand the fact that a lot of Americans do not trust Cruz. You've got to bring that trustworthiness back in him. And the way you approach people, you're not doing that. You're turning people off. And not only are you turning them off, but you're giving them reason to believe that everything negative that is being said about Ted Cruz is obviously true. I keep giving you this information, keep trying to help your campaign, and you people keep blasting me about it. And I'm telling you, that's not helping your cause. It is not like I have numbers like Rush Limbaugh or Sean Hannity, but I'm telling you, if this is what I hear this on when people call Rush, I hear it, and I'm telling you, this is the perception of the majority of Americans who are able to vote on the Republican side. They do not trust you or Ted. That's a problem only you and Ted can fix. And you do not seem to be wanting to do so, which now makes other people think, well, you know about the problem. You know that we don't trust him because of certain things, and yet you don't seem to want to fix it. Why? Instead, you want to call everybody who doesn't vote for Ted Cruz, you want to call them all kinds of names. Well, I'm sorry, Ted doesn't even have 20% of the support. So that means 80% of the potential out there is voting for somebody else. And you want to call it 80% names? Good luck winning an election on that one. That's not going to happen. You know, as you probably have found out, you cruisers, the entire country is not made up of Iowans. And for those of you in Rush Limbaugh's Rio Linda, Iowans would be people from the state of Iowa. I'm trying here. I'm trying to help you out. Because like I said, I like Cruz. I think Cruz would probably be a better Supreme Court justice than president, but I would still take him as president. And I'm trying to help you out. The problem is that not only do you not want my help, you don't want anybody's help. And unfortunately, if you don't take anybody's help, your candidate is not going to win. Don't doubt me.
Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Sign him up for the Box of Bait Club and he'll never be hungry again. The Box of Bait Club is a brand new dream come true for every fisherman. Something new and different in your tackle box every month. Every month, another excuse to get outside and do what you love. Don't let this one get away. The Box of Bait Club is currently accepting a limited number of pre-orders with subscriptions starting at $39.95 per month. Find out more now. Log on to boxofbaitclub.com.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000 or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel quality. Best of all, you can still order a building and have it delivered in time to build this year. How's that for right now? So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company, General Steel.
800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. That's 800-393-5756.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Boy, man, I had a rough night's sleep. Boy, I got a letter from the IRS yesterday and I just couldn't sleep. Man, I'm dying here. Somebody help me.
IRS problems affect more than just your finances. If you're ready to take back control of your life and you owe more than $10,000, you need to call the tax doctor. Their expert staff can immediately protect you from the IRS and state collectors and get you the best possible tax settlement guaranteed. The IRS has recently released new programs geared in helping struggling taxpayers, where you may qualify to settle your tax debt and wipe out up to 85% or more of what you currently owe. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call the tax doctor right now. See if you qualify to pay less. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. Again, 800-989-1694.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Welcome back. Hour number 3, the fastest 3 hours of Internet Talk Radio is right here on the Rod Eccles Show. I am your lovable host, El Rod, coming to you live from my bunkerized home studio somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire, where the state motto is live free or die. It is not big government or bust. And the phone-in number here today is like it is every day. It's 603-835-3224. Again, that's 603-835-3224. And, one of the things that, for those of you who may have been missed the earlier part, or maybe you haven't gotten back to, hopefully you've had a chance to reboot. And since you've had a chance to reboot, you are back live with me right now because we had a little bit of a studio crash a little bit earlier, but we're definitely trying to look at ways to make sure that that stuff doesn't happen again. And you know what? I got to tell you, really, I'm tickled pink because I'm looking at some of the numbers here from the listens as far and the follows in various social media. I'm tickled pink. This program is being received very well, but I'm not satisfied, so to speak. So again, I'm coming to you asking you to share the program with just two of your friends or your family, your relatives, coworkers, just 2. Just share it with 2. Get them to tune in and listen. Just 2. That's all I'm asking. Just 2 people. Not saying go out there and be an evangelist for the Rod Eccles Show, although if you want to do that, that's fine with me too, but just share it with just 2 people. If you haven't already done so, just share it with, if you've already shared it with 2 people, I thank you tremendously from the bottom of my heart. But just share it with 2 people, and let's see what happens as far as the growth and where this thing goes. Anyway, also don't forget to tune into or tune on to or point your browser towards rodeccles.net. That is hub central for all things Rod Eccles Show. rodeccles.net. You can't go wrong by going over there. Really can't. I'm going to be adding some new features over the next month or 2 over there too, that as well that are going to be wonderful for the user experience. Now, trust me, I have no. I understand that websites other than. No, I'm not going to have any type of a social type of thing over there. It's not going to be like another Facebook. I know websites tried that a while back. I know a lot of people that did try that on their websites. They tried to have this social aspect. That you could even buy apps and stuff and plugins and stuff that worked off your website to have a social media aspect to it. And none of that stuff really worked. Because people weren't going to somebody's website to join a social network because it was just too limited. Especially when you already had, networks or sites that were geared towards building a social community or online. So, but webs in your individual website was not going to be able to pull those kind of numbers. Now, with that said, it doesn't mean that somebody can't come up with a social media platform that can take over Facebook. I'm not saying that that's not a possibility. Look, the way Facebook has treated its users since 2005, and the arrogance of the current CEO and shall I say owner, and Mark Zuckerberg. I mean, it's ripe for being taken over as the industry leader. It really is. So if somebody out there has the gall, has the intelligence, and can get the backing, there is. I mean, I'm not trying to speak negative of Facebook, but I got to tell you, the opening for an alternate Facebook experience has never been greater. Look, you have to understand that the reason Facebook became so popular is simply because MySpace, when it was sold to News Corp, went the same direction as Facebook is. They became arrogant and thought, well, we're the best out there. We're the biggest, baddest social media network out there. We killed off Friendster, and a few other social media networks. So we're all the time thinking that they were it. They thought they were it. And then Facebook came along and proved and slapped them up across, News Corp, Rupert Murdoch, he paid, what was it, $580 million. And then Facebook slapped them so badly that a few years later, after that $580 million investment, News Corp decided to sell MySpace. They sold it for $35 million. Do you realize that they basically took a $550 million loss? News Corp took a $500 million loss. Why? Because they were arrogant, treated the people that used their site poorly. Facebook is, although they have more users than MySpace did, they're in the same position as MySpace was, treating their users like crap. And then after they treat them like crap, and they all whine and complain badly enough or loud enough, then Zuckerberg comes out and says, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I won't do that again." And then a year later, he does exactly the same thing. And then he says, "Oh, I'm so sorry." He's not sorry. He's not. So I'm just begging somebody, if they have the wherewithal, if they have the ability to go out there and start a Facebook killer, do it. It's possible. And for you to say it's not possible, look, for years and years we were told that, the giants like JCPenney and Sears, nobody could ever eclipse them. And then Kmart and Walmart came along. At any point in time, any company that is a juggernaut today could be gone tomorrow. If somebody else comes up with a more innovative or customer-friendly, user-friendly experience. And if you want to come up with a better user-friendly experience than Facebook, do it. And then unleash it on the world and see where you go. You could, I don't know, maybe that's just the whole point. Because even Twitter now, everybody used to talk about Twitter this, Twitter that, Twitter. Twitter was a beautiful thing, and now all of a sudden, we're starting to get people complaining that Twitter is blocking people. They're eliminating certain posts. They're coming up with this new panel to look at people's posts to make sure that they're politically correct, I guess. Maybe it's just the fact that we can't have any one social network, I guess, become so big that it gets to be so powerful that they get this arrogance that they feel they can control the content that its users are freely putting up for them. I mean, look, without the users of any of these platforms, they don't have their own content. Do you understand that? Facebook doesn't have its own content. Twitter doesn't have its own content. It relies 99.9% on the content of its users, who are able to come on board for free and then get blasted with ads. So come up with something, an alternative if you want. That's all I'm saying. I'm begging you to do so. I'd look for now. Look, Google Plus right now has not gone that direction of that Twitter and Facebook has. But I don't know if people really want to move to a platform that is owned by Google. Because Google itself, even though Google Plus may not be the issue, Google itself is the issue for a lot of people. And LinkedIn is just not geared towards that type of social networking. It's a professional site, and And LinkedIn is not moving itself in the direction of trying to be a Facebook killer. They've got their massive niche, and they're sticking to it. They're the juggernaut within their niche, and they're not moving from it, and I don't blame them. But what are the others? I don't know. Is Friendster even still up and running? Maybe somebody can revive one of the old social media platforms. I don't know. Maybe you could. There have been a lot of, there have been crazier things that have worked for people. I wasn't Justin Timberlake and his biological brothers or something bought Facebook. Now I don't really frequent MySpace. Excuse me. I don't even know what's going on over on MySpace. To tell you the truth, I guess it's gone back to its roots of being a music sharing site, not necessarily a social site. Good for them. That's the way they want to go. Fine. Apple is losing the PR. Today I found out something last night with Apple, and it kind of ticked me off because I didn't know this, didn't recognize it, didn't know this was happening, wasn't paying attention because I'm not a huge Apple fan. I don't do Apple's iTunes and all that kind of stuff, but I go to my Apple iPad and I think, you know what, I'm going to do while I'm doing this particular work. I just want to listen to some music. So I turn on my iPad and go to the music part of my iPad, like I have many times before, and I press the music icon and up pops the iTunes the iMusic stuff, and I go to the saved stations that I have on there. I made my own stations, dance station, and a couple of favorite artists that I had, and I went through each one of those, and it wasn't playing. It kept sending me to this other stuff like B1 or something. Like, I don't want to listen to this. But it kept sending me to that. I'm like, well, where are my stations? But every time I wasn't paying attention at first, and then I noticed I got to pay for it now. Like, when did that happen? Like, iTunes wants me to pay for the free radios, the stations that they used to give me for free? I'm not paying for it. You got to be kidding. I'll just go to the radio stations directly. No, I don't get to make my own station. But, look, I got kind of ticked off with Pandora, and I stopped. Maybe I should bring Pandora back. And, I guess you can make your own station with iTunes. Or not iTunes, but iHeart Radio. So, I mean, I do that sometimes. But, what is it that you thumb up? This stuff is that's iHeartRadio, right? But I was kind of taken aback by this whole notion that I couldn't listen to what I used to listen to on the platform that I used to listen to it on, because now they want to charge me money for it. I'm like, it's not worth that. I can still get it for nothing. Yeah, I get to listen to commercials, but I'm used to that. I don't think that there is. It's kind of like this Hulu Plus thing. And I guess that's the way it is with YouTube. There's a YouTube Red, and it's you pay an extra amount for not having commercials. And I gotta tell you, as annoying as some of these commercials are, I don't think it's worth paying all of that extra money just so I can get rid of the commercials. Because half the time, either I can fast forward through them, skip them, or just do something else. It gives me the chance to do something else, the multitask while that commercial is playing. So the whole point I'm sorry, for the most part, you commercials out there that you're interrupting my program, you're not getting my attention. And I can tell you that's the vast majority of people online with these interruptive type of commercials. It has gotten to the point now where I am totally ticked off. When I go to a website, I get ticked when my website experience gets interrupted by a pop-up. You will not find a pop-up on my websites. I don't care if it's asking for an email. You will not get a pop-up because I find them highly annoying. And if you go to any of my Zinc Media owned websites or the Rod Eccles Show website, and you're getting a pop-up, know that it is not coming from me. And that you should tell me immediately, because I will look into it to make sure that pop-up is eliminated. Or you have a virus on your computer, because I do not put pop-ups on my websites because I loathe them. Cannot stand them. In fact, there have been some websites that have bothered me so much with pop-ups that I do not go back to them. Now, maybe that's just me, but I cannot stand pop-ups. Don't interrupt if I want to join your email list, then just put it off to the side. I'll see it and I'll go to it. I don't want to click on this ad. Get out of I came to your site for a specific purpose, and now you want to interrupt that purpose, waste my time with an annoying pop-up. And frankly, there are a lot of people that are reporting that some of these pop-ups freeze up or slows down their computers. I know this happens to one of my computers, and I can't stand it. And if it gets to be a problem, I just don't go back to your site. So let me understand how that's helping you. If you prevent me from coming to your site because of an annoying pop-up, how do you make any money off of me not coming to your site? And if I do sign up for an email, I expect 1 or 2 a week. I don't expect 3 or 4 per day, every single freaking day. If I have not signed up for your pay an exorbitant amount of money for this exclusive series in the first 3 days, I'm not going to sign up ever. Stop sending me the emails. And when I unsubscribe, don't sell my name to somebody else, to one of your friends, so they can populate my email box with their spam. That ticks me off. Ticks off a lot of people, by the way. But, do you realize that most of this, it is so bad that most people have set up junk email folders. Not just folders, I should say, but junk. Most people, I used to have a junk email address, and I would test it out. If somebody says, well, we don't sell your information. Really? So I used to test these out. I used to set up junk email addresses. Take a little bit of extra time. It takes longer today to set up an email account than it used to, because now you got to go through all these extra steps and give extra information, so I stopped doing it. But when it was easy to do, basically, a couple of clicks and you were done, I used to set up these alternate junk email accounts. And I would, every time I went to a site, I would use a different email account. Set up a new one for it. And they would say, well, we don't sell your information. Really? So if you don't sell my information to anybody, how is it that this junk email address that is specifically geared towards this one site, how is it now that my email, this junk email, fake email, is now loading up with emails from all kinds of places? You don't sell it, huh? What a crock. So this is, and look, sometimes when I have the time, I get belligerent on them. I send the stuff back. And I load it up. And sometimes when you do that, you find that your junk email starts to, it's kind of like when you get junk mail. And they send you these cards, postage free, whatever. And if you want to get off of some of these junk email or junk mailing lists, what you do is you just send them with your address on it. You send it back in the card, and basically you don't give them any information. You just leave your address in there. You don't agree to anything. In fact, you probably black all that other stuff out, so they can't see that you did something. and you send it back to them using their postage paid envelope. Let me tell you something. When they start getting that kind of stuff back, that's not illegal, by the way. Because when they start getting some of that stuff back, they will remove your name from their list. So that's one way to stop some of the junk mail from coming. And if you kind of spam back some of these email people that are spamming you, they will remove you personally from their email list, because they don't want any trouble from the public. They only do certain things because they think that it works, and to a certain extent, it probably does work for them. But when you make it very clear that it's not going to work on you, and you're just annoying the hell out of them and wasting their time and money, they will quickly remove you. Unfortunately, it takes work on your part and my part in order to get to that point. But I'm when it comes to stuff like that, I guess I'm just not friendly. But I just don't like my time being wasted like this. You know, great, you have something that I find interesting and I might want it, and you're offering it to me either for a low price or no price, that still does not give you the right to waste my time in the future and to load up my email boxes with your garbage and your junk. I'm not giving you permission to do that. I just want you, if your information is actually as good as you say, or your product or service is as good as you say, you don't need to keep pounding me to buy more of it. I'm going to utilize it. The problem is that you know that this product or service that you're offering is junk, and it has no value whatsoever, so you have to keep pounding me in order to try to get me to buy something more. Because if you had something that was actually good and worth my time, I would buy more from you. And you wouldn't need to constantly remind me that you're out there and that you have stuff available that could possibly help me. I would just know it's there because the stuff that you have is already good and I'm using it. Or I'm enjoying it. The problem comes is that, and the worse that product or service is, the more often they bug me about it. I'm sorry. I mean, there's one now that he's got these videos out there for marketing. And, his first name, I'm not going to say any more than Billy needs to really go away, because he's crude, rude, unprofessional, overly aggressive. And I got to tell you, I think other people would be out there kicking his butt. But it is what it is, I suppose. Anyway. Yeah, we're trying to keep on track here. We'll be right back, folks.
Your credit score is a joke, and you're too embarrassed to let anyone know your 3-digit score. Sucks to be you, but it doesn't have to. Delete all those unsightly derogatory items, collections, charge-offs, repossessions, judgments, tax liens, bankruptcies, and foreclosures. To turbo boost your credit scores, call 888-541-5571 or visit us at 700creditnow.com. You've heard the old adage, cash is king. But in some cases, credit can be just as powerful as cash. Not many people have $200,000 to put down on a house, or $50,000 to put down on a car, or $25,000 to put down in a business. But look around and you'll find that millions of Americans do have homes and cars, all purchased with little to no money down. To turbo boost your credit scores, call 888-541-5571. Again, that's 888-541-5571. Or visit us at www.700creditnow.com.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Did you ever look at the stains in your coffee cup and then realize that's exactly what happens to your teeth? Power Swabs is the 5-minute solution to get your teeth white without visiting the dentist. This is Ben Gordon with Power Swabs, and if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, all it takes is 5 minutes with Power Swabs. In 5 minutes, you'll see an average of 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. It's clinically proven to whiten natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. The secret is a tooth detergent that was developed by Dr. Martin Ginniger that lifts stains off of your teeth. Best of all, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you're done. To try Power Swabs risk-free, call 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140. I guarantee your bright white smile will have your friends talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free today. 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
When you're ready to take the edge off a hectic day, I suggest you start with a little music from Franz Black.
I guess there's lots of ways to look at things that don't seem right.
No Worries has just been released on iTunes and Amazon.
It's gonna be alright.
You can find Franz Black and his music on his website, franzblack.com. F-R-A-N-Z black.com.
It's gonna be alright.
Do you know the true history of African Americans before slavery? Come into Austell, Georgia, Saturday, February the 27th, 2016, at the Riverside Epic Center, 135 Riverside Parkway. Black America, From Prophets to Pimps, stage play. For more information, visit www.prophetstopimps.com or call 470-985-0992. Tickets on sale now.
Bring the rain!
Six 603-835-3224. Welcome back. You are listening to The Rod Eccles Show. I am your lovable host, El Rod, coming to you live once again for this last segment here on The Rod Eccles Show. This time flies by. This is the fastest 3 hours on Internet Talk Radio by far. I really have a ball doing this. I mean, the time just, it's amazing too when you look at the morning. You're starting off fresh at 9 a.m. Many people are still, because I'm live all across the country, and it's 9 o'clock Eastern time, which means it's 8 o'clock Central time, 7 o'clock Mountain time, and still 6 o'clock on the left coast. So, people are still getting the sleep out of their eyes, getting their first cup of coffee, and then they hear me. I come barreling at them. But by the time the show gets around to 11:30, noon, or 9 a.m. on the West Coast, everybody's wide awake. That's why I say your new morning tradition right here is the Rod Eccles Show, your morning ritual. Get you going. I help get you going. What a difference 3 hours in a day makes. I mean, because you go from early morning to noon. And then you go, well, of course, you got the midday stuff. You go from noon to 3, and by the time the midday stuff is over, your day's almost done. Do you realize that? Then you get the drive time guys trying to get you back home. But it's amazing how time throughout the day just how it changes. How we schedule and how we have our whole day. The mornings are quiet, and we keep trying to gear up for that lunchtime, and that lunchtime and things are going full steam. We come back and it's only full steam for 3 or 4 hours, then it starts to wind down, and everybody prepares himself for that trek home. And they get home at 6 o'clock, and then it's a totally different world at 6 o'clock. I mean, it's the end of the day, basically, which is totally the opposite from 12 hours earlier, 6 in the morning, or even 9 in the morning. People are it's fresh. But by 6 o'clock, everybody's done. It's just amazing how the day works. I know I get fascinated by some of the most seemingly simplest things, but I find even in the simplistic, there's a lot of fascinating logic and truth in there. And if you actually pay attention, life is absolutely amazing. If you just stop and pay attention once in a while, you will find everyday things are just absolutely amazing and fascinating. And you know what that does? That when people actually take the time to do stuff like that, just to take life apart bit by bit, just the simple act of reviewing how a day actually works. Do you realize that opens you up to life, period, in all that it has to offer? I mean, it's not just if you're in a rut, if you find yourself in a rut, just think about how your day actually works every single day. Just the nuances of it. You get up at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. Some people say, well, geez, I got to get up at 6, and I got to work, and I get to work by 9. But think about how your day actually flows. You'll be able to find all sorts of ways to improve at specific times of your day to make your day more worthwhile for you. Just consider that some life coaching advice there. Change things up a little bit. It doesn't have to be massive changes. Just to understand your own day and make little tweaks here and you'll find that the small tweaks or adjustments will give you big, huge results. They can. So but there is a little bit of a connection with that, and what I do here is simply, I know a lot of people say that they don't know what I'm going to say next, really. They don't know what subject I'm going to bring up. That, again, the excitement of having something new, not knowing what to expect, because I know people get bored with other things because it's the same thing day in and day out. It's the same subject, the same task, the same way it's said. Everything is the same the entire length of the show, day in, day out, month in, month out, year in, year out. But here, I try to make it a little bit more interesting, exciting by changing things up. You never know what I'm going to say or talk about next. And I think that's a good thing. You know, what is the Bugs Bunny cartoon when the king says, "Cook, where's my supper?" And you know, and Yosemite Sam is the cook, and he brings the king something in, and the king tosses it aside and says, "Take it away, take it away. Every day the same thing, variety," because he was always giving the king a variety of stuff. But the king was expecting that. I know it's just a stupid cartoon, but there's some life lessons there. So the king responds, you know, every day the same thing. Variety. I want something different. Cook, fix me Hassenpfeffer. Well, evidently, the variety, even though it was a bunch of different stuff, it was the same different stuff every day. Now, you get a variety show, and it's the same variety every day. Well, you get to the point you want something different. And I know people look at it and say, well, you get variety. That is different. No, but it's the same variety. I get the joke. You know, it's funny on the surface, but then when you look a little bit deeper, yeah, he's getting variety, but he's getting the exact same variety every single day. So is that really variety? So he says, fix me something different than the variety that he's already gotten. So hopefully you're getting that Hassenpfeffer here on the Rod Eccles Show. And if you are, then I would just ask that you share that Hassenpfeffer with two of your friends. I know some people are not going to get my Bugs Bunny analogy. But those of you who love Bugs Bunny, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and you get it. And if you're still a kid on the inside, you get exactly what I'm saying, because you know. I mean, I look at people. I say stupid stuff from Bugs. I quote Bugs Bunny cartoons all the time, and most of the time, people look at me like I got 3 heads, and not 2, but 3. And I just have to say, did you ever watch Bugs Bunny as a kid? Well, most people will say yes. Hello. But then they'll say, well, I don't remember any of it, as if they've forgotten their entire childhood. Oh, maybe I'm different. I keep my inner child alive. I still watch Bugs Bunny every once in a while, and I still crack up. In fact, I probably laugh harder today at Bugs Bunny than I did when I was a kid, because a lot of those jokes are inside jokes that only adults are going to get, and now that I'm an adult, I get those jokes, and it makes it even funnier. I love Bugs Bunny. Sorry, I do. I love cartoons. You know, the old these new cartoons. You know, I'm sorry, the SpongeBob and the SquarePants and the squirrels under the ocean and the the Beavis and the Buttheads. That stuff is not funny. That's junk cartoonship to me. I mean, this is why there's no more Saturday morning cartoons in my book. I'm serious. That's why. Yeah, there's a few. You know, Ben 10 is a good series. But I can't keep up with it. They keep changing every season. I don't know which is which. But anyway, there aren't a lot of these early learning year cartoons. I mean, they're so damn sugary sweet that your kid's going to have a mouthful of cavities from watching these programs by the time they're 5. I never watched that kind of stuff. But anyway. Apple is losing, from Yahoo Finance on Yahoo, Apple is losing the PR war with the FBI. And this is a sad thing here. The story starts out, Apple needs an upgrade to its public relations strategy. The tech giant's intensifying standoff with the FBI over whether to unlock an iPhone used by the San Bernardino man who, along with his wife, is accused of killing 14 people last year, has an unmistakable element of theater. Only from Yahoo. The government, which is, and they're wondering why they're losing the battle against other tech giants like Google. The government, which is investigating hundreds of crimes involving locked iPhones, apparently chose the San Bernardino case as its stalking horse against Apple because it believed the public would be sympathetic to its argument. Now, Apple, normally secretive about its plans and strategies, posted a detailed response to the FBI online. Both sides will have their say in court on March 22nd. But the public opinion matters, too, and Apple may be heading for a setback before it ever gets to the courtroom. Some family members of the San Bernardino massacre victims, for example, are siding with the FBI. This is the problem because they're using this old, stupid, outdated, proven to be false argument and narrative. If you have nothing to hide, why not allow them to look? Well, first of all, because it's my private stuff. And frankly, as I have pointed out many times, and now I am starting to hear other people of importance echo what I have been saying for years. Look, I heard it on Rush the other day. I was shocked. I have been saying that it doesn't matter whether or not you think you have something to hide or not. The point is that everyone has something to hide because, believe it or not, because we have so many laws, rules, and regulations, every single one of us has probably woken up in the morning, and before we leave the house by 9 a.m. and get to work, we've probably broken 5 or more laws, rules, or regulations that we don't even know about. And trust me, if the government wants to get you on something or get you to do something for them, they will look in to see if you have broken any laws, rules, or regulations, and then they will basically blackmail you into doing their bidding. So if you give them free reign over your private information, they're going to find something any damn time they want. That's the point. Every single one of us has something to hide, even though we don't even know it. And it is simply how our government has designed itself over the past 50 years. It has interjected itself into every aspect of our life to such a point that, look, you can't even supposedly, those automatic, your remote car starters, did you realize that in many communities across this country, it's legal to buy one, it's legal to have one installed in your car, but it's illegal to use it? Do you realize that? So every time you start your freaking car up with a remote car starter, you've just broken a local law. And you're going to tell me you have nothing to hide. Really? But they're using this argument, which is BS, because it is not the government's it is not the people's job to make it easier for the government to investigate them. It is the government's job to prove that they need to investigate you in the first place. You don't give them the keys to the hen house. They're not the fox, they're the wolf pack. And let me tell you something, wolves in a hen house are far more dangerous and deadly than a single fox. I mean, unbelievable. What Apple is doing is not just trying to protect its own patents. It is trying to protect your integrity and your safety. And what you are telling Apple is, do not freaking protect my safety, buddy. No, but I tell you what, you're going to let the government get in there and invade your privacy, but if Facebook changes their privacy settings, you're going to have a hissy fit. How dare Facebook unlock my privacy settings like that? I didn't give them permission to do it. No, but you're telling Apple to give the federal government the ability to go into your cell phone without you even knowing about it and circumventing all of your privacy settings. Do you realize that? They're not asking Apple to unlock this one phone. They're asking Apple to give them the keys to be able to unlock all of your phones at any time and negate your privacy settings. Do you understand that? You get pissed off at Facebook for changing your privacy settings without you knowing. How about the government coming in and just negating your privacy settings no matter how they're set? That's what the FBI is asking for. from Apple. And yet you're going to run out there and say, well, if you have nothing to hide. Well, if you have nothing to hide on Facebook, why are you upset every time Facebook changes their privacy settings? Huh? Answer that one. There shouldn't be anybody who has ever thought about complaining or complained about Facebook and their privacy issues. There is no way in hell you should be backing the FBI against Apple in this case. But yet we've got I bet you every single one of those family members of the San Bernardino victims, if Facebook were to violate their privacy settings on Facebook, they would be throwing a hissy fit. But let me tell you something. You are telling Apple to allow the federal government to do everything that you hate about Facebook to you. And you're supporting the government in doing it. Because they're coming to you with this false narrative, oh, it's about security and safety. Let me tell you something. If you give up privacy, if you give up your liberty, you are not going to have any security. But if you're going to trade it for that, not only are you not going to have security, you're not going to have any liberty. And you're not going to have any privacy. And so thereby, I guess, the terrorists win. Because you don't get to live your life the way you say you want to live it. Look, well, I don't know. Maybe maybe people are saying, I don't want to live like an Islamist, but if my government tells me how to live, that's okay. I just don't want some other government telling me how to live. I mean, what kind of nonsense is that? But that's basically what you're saying. If you're behind, I'm not a huge Apple fan, but I can tell you this whole thing is not about Apple. It is not about the San Bernardino terrorist iPhone. It is not about that at all. You people are being roped and doped into this, who are falling for it. It is not about Apple. You better come across and understand this really darn quick, because it is not about Apple. It's not about the Apple phone. I mean, it's about your privacy, your freedom, your liberty, and it's about this country as a whole. And it's about our government getting even bigger and more powerful over each and every one of us, individually and collectively. Look, this is, we've been having, people have been throwing comparisons about Adolf Hitler and the Nazis left and right lately. And it has gotten so bad that people aren't even paying attention to it. And that's probably by design. But let me tell you something. Nazism is not Donald Trump. Nazism is the liberal left. Now, isn't that amazing that they're attempting to do just about everything that the Nazis did? Mandatory government health care, no choice in the health care system, mandatory government retirement systems. That's all Nazism, folks. Donald Trump trying to keep out certain people from entering this country illegally is not Nazism. Because Nazis just said, come on in, we'll kill you. Donald Trump is just saying, stay out. Build the wall, build the fence. Supposedly it's what all the Republican candidates are saying. That's to keep people out. The Nazis said, come on in so we can kill you. And remember, the only time we had any type of Nazism on American soil was under a liberal Democrat's reign. FDR, the internment of Asian, Japanese Americans. Didn't matter if they were citizens and born here or not. If you were Japanese American, you got ushered off into one of these internment camps, where many of them died, by the way. And no real hey, Black Lives Matter. There was no real apology given to the Japanese Americans for internment during World War II. How come you're not asking for the government and white people to apologize for that? Just asking Black Lives Matter movement, why aren't they demanding an apology for that? Why aren't they? Was there any real reparations given to these people? No, because what was taken from them was worth far more than what any little trinket the government gave back. In fact, many of these people couldn't even return to the places that they called home because they were taken from their homes and their businesses, and while they were interned, they lost those homes and businesses. They couldn't go back. So, but I don't hear any apology or demand for an apology for that. Just saying. This whole issue with Apple is much bigger than Apple, and it's not just about Apple. Oh man, I need a 4 or 5 hour show. I need to do a special or something because I got way too much to talk about here, and I got 3 minutes to get it all in. Let me just give you some of the headlines. Pregnant Secretary of Pope Francis found dead in her apartment. Now, I don't know if she was married or not, but evidently she's found dead. Pregnant. Poll numbers puts Trump way up in the lead, and we've already seen that. Saudi Arabia declares oil production cut not going to happen and threatens U.S. oil shale industry. And this is a story that I told you proves what I told you about them wanting to destroy our industry, our oil industry. And they've even said it. Hey, if the shale oil industry wants to survive, they need to cut cost. Well, the costs are pretty, but stranded. They're built in. Part of the reason that the costs are stranded and built in is because of how our government is demanding that these people work. They got to pay certain kind of fees, get certain kind of permits, and they got to do certain types of environmental protection and blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. And I'm telling you, this is by design, by this current administration in doing this kind of stuff. So look, the Saudi, the OPEC is saying, we talked about cutting production. We're not going to cut production. If you guys want to make a profit over there, you better slash your cost. Because they fully understand that they have stranded cost. We have stranded cost here that Saudi and OPEC does not. Plain and simple. Al-Qaeda is using Facebook to buy old CIA weapons. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Don't know how that works. And McConnell vows at this particular point in time, says that he's vowing that there's not going to be a vote for on the Supreme Court nominee from the president. No vote. Pretty simple is what McConnell is saying now. And by the way, did you know that India's single females are being banned from owning cell phones? I don't know what's up with that, but evidently they can't have cell phones anymore over there in India. In any event, unfortunately, 3 hours just went by way too fast today, even with that little bit of a hiccup and interruption. But we will be back here tomorrow. You have been listening to The Rod Eccles Show. I, of course, am your lovable host, L. Rod. I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day. I'm out.